Once upon a time, Br Rabbit said to Br Fox, "Please don't throw me into that briar patch. The temperature is supposed to hit 90 today. How about a swim this afternoon?" Carrie put down her coffee and looked hard at John. "John, look at me. Do I look like I'm ready to go swimming today?" John looked at his wife, as he used a piece of toast to mop up the last traces of egg yolk from his plate. "Carrie, you look as healthy and fit as ever. Don't you feel well?" "Oh, I feel fine. Look at my hair, silly. I have it up, in this fancy style that you seemed to appreciate so much when we were dancing last night. I'm not about to jump into a pool with this hairdo." "Yeah, that was some party, and you certainly were fantastic." John's eyes got dreamy for a second as he recalled how his wife appeared in her elegant gown, gliding gracefully on her tall pumps. He remembered holding her close as they danced. He remembered how the smooth sweep of her hair caught the light, how the delicate tendrils framed her face. Still, that was last night and today was today. But Frank and Carol's engagement party was last night and you were stunning. Now, the party is over. You don't have to worry about your hair anymore. You just don't get it, do you? You are the perfect example of an insensitive, unfeeling, uncaring man. I spent most of yesterday getting ready for that party, while you just played a pleasant round of golf with your buddies. Much of my time was spent on this hairdo that you seem to like so much. Well, I'm not about to ruin it with a quick plunge into a pool. I wish I knew a way to make you appreciate my efforts." Carrie took another swallow of her coffee and left the room. John sat with his own coffee and with his own thoughts. A tiny smile crept across his lips. Maybe this could work, after all. He went outside to wax his classic MG midget and to try, for the umpteenth time, to get those two little SU carburetors to work in unison. When Carrie called him for lunch, he hurried in from the garage. Over lunch, John continued the conversation. "Well, I guess you're right about the swimming. What would you like to do this afternoon? How about a little shopping at that nice air-conditioned Galleria mall, followed by an early dinner and then a movie?" "Okay, let's do it. I'm ready when you are." "Ready? What are you ready for? A pickup softball game? What has gotten into you? Look at me. I'm wearing a skirt, a delicate blouse, hose, and heels. You're wearing a t-shirt, cut-off jeans, and sneakers. You still have grease stains on your hands. At least make an attempt not to embarrass me." "Okay, I'll change." John showered and changed his clothes. He put on chinos, a sports shirt, and loafers. He wished he also could be wearing a skirt and blouse. For John, you see, is a crossdresser. He has been one for at least 24 of his 34 years. He began with the smooth nylon clothes he borrowed from his older sister. After college, while he lived alone, he had gradually acquired 2 or 3 complete outfits, which he wore in the privacy of his apartment, always accompanied by a powerful sense of emotional excitement. John was also straight. He admired women deeply, their style, their elegance, their beauty. You might say he admired them so much, he wanted to look just like one. The thought of being dressed up, polished, and stylish was perhaps the most exciting feeling John could imagine. Carrie was beautiful and witty. John had fallen deeply in love with her within weeks of their first date. Beautiful women had always fascinated him by their clothes, their hair, and their makeup. He wished he could emulate their look and style. But with Carrie it was something more. She worked at her beauty and enjoyed doing so. John would watch in fascination as she performed her beauty rituals. It was always captivating to watch her. He only wished he could join her in the experience. But his crossdressing had become an exercise in imagination. The only visible thing he held onto was his long hair. It was shoulder length and worn in a simple, low ponytail, tied with a thin elastic band. His crossdressing ended with his marriage to Carrie. Not that she had ever said anything. She didn't have to. It was more her attitude, and some general observations she had made about men who dressed femininely, that convinced him his hobby would have to remain hidden. John thought about how much he missed his delicate clothing as he prepared for his afternoon out with Carrie. He carefully blew his hair dry, styling it into a simple center-parted flip. He admired this softer style at the mirror for a minute or two, before converting it into a standard male tail. As he stood at the mirror, he remembered back when the reflection might have worn lipstick, or perhaps a head full of curlers. He began to form a plan. Okay, Carrie, my love, ready to go. Our chariot awaits. If you mean that bottle green beast you were fussing over all morning, then no way. Why not? If ever there was a top-down day, this is it. You can wear a scarf to keep your hairdo undamaged if you want to. Oh sure, and get half a pound of dirt and bugs stuck to my face. Well, they do have ladies' restrooms at the mall. You can wash up when you get there. Don't be so picky. And I suppose you are willing to wait the 20 minutes while I put my makeup back on. Doesn't the effort I put into my appearance mean anything to you? Besides, see, I'm wearing a skirt and hose, and it isn't particularly easy to crawl in and out of that little car. Okay, we'll use the Toyota then. John had a curiously satisfied look on his face as he pulled out of the driveway. He turned the air conditioning on to full blast. After a few minutes, Carrie readjusted the controls to a more moderate setting. Come on, dear, it's hot out. Don't stand on the AC. Is that necessary? My legs are almost bare, and you seem to want to see them turn blue or something. You aren't happy unless you can see your breath. Oh, come on. You're always telling me how warm and sticky those nylons get in the summer. Now you're complaining about it being too cool. Make up your mind. Well, nylons do get a bit hot sometimes. Now, you've made this car feel like a freezer. My legs went from being warm and sticky to being cold and clammy with nothing in between, but I wouldn't expect you to understand that. John drove to the mall. The parking lot was crowded and the only available spots were far from the building. They stepped out of the car into a sea of steamy air, overheated blacktop, and scorching sunlight. John began to walk very quickly, almost run, toward the nearest entrance. Carrie tried to keep up, her high heels making a soft tapping sound on the heat-softened asphalt. Come on, try to keep up with me. Let's get inside. It's broiling out here. What's wrong, Mr. Outdoors? What's the problem? You wanted to come here in an open car, remember? That's different. This parking lot is just a couple of degrees short of a griddle. He speeded up his gait. You think it's easy to run in heels? You have no comprehension of what it's like at all, do you? John didn't answer. He slowed down just enough for Carrie to almost catch up with him. John followed Carrie through JCPenney, Macy's, and 3 or 4 smaller stores as she shopped for short-sleeve blouses and a pair of culottes. He tried to pay attention when she asked him for an opinion, but he was distracted as he imagined wearing some of the delightful, airy, soft things himself. Carrie, just select one of those blouses and let's go. They both look very nice. I asked you to look and tell me if the yellow one pulled across the back, and you barely glanced at it. You don't seem to have any concept about what a woman looks for in clothing. They quibbled their way through the rest of the shopping. They never quite reached the point of arguing, but they didn't sound particularly loving either. Finally, it was time to choose a place to eat. John wanted to go to a burger place, while Carrie's choice was a quiet Italian restaurant a mile from the mall. John gave in and twirled his way through a huge plate of spaghetti with clam sauce. Carrie quietly enjoyed her chicken marsala. When it came time to choose a movie, John quickly suggested one of the big action films showing at the 10-plex. Carrie preferred the single-period drama that was playing. John finally gave in to her choice. He might have even enjoyed the slower, dramatic film were it not for what he called a sudden allergy attack. At least that was his excuse for all the sniffling he did during the movie. Things continued in much the same way between John and Carrie for the next few weeks. They got along well enough, but little by little, Carrie was becoming convinced that John needed to be more sensitive, more appreciative of the effort she put into presenting herself as the confident, stylish woman he admired. One Sunday evening, Carrie was at her vanity, preparing to change her nail polish for the work week ahead. John, did you do something with my nail polish remover? The bottle's empty, and I just bought it last week. I just used a little. I needed to clean off some touch-up paint from my hand. It worked great. And you left the cap loose. It all evaporated. Now I have none when I need it. Come on, get in the car. The mall is still open for an hour. You need to learn something. I'll drive. Carrie walked to the car with John following. Even in her annoyed state, there was still a rhythm to her steps. Her long blonde hair swung gracefully as she entered the car. I need nail polish remover and you need to learn something. We're going to do some shopping for you two this evening. Now, I know you appreciate certain things about me, You notice when I dress up, when I try a new hairstyle, when I change my makeup. But sometimes, I think you don't care about the effort it takes. It's one thing to enjoy the results, and another thing entirely to respect the work behind them. Sure, dear, he muttered, half listening. John, listen carefully. It takes time, money, and even a little discomfort to maintain the look you enjoy. You seem to acknowledge that, but I don't think you really understand it. Well, what do you expect me to do? I expect you to learn what it takes to get ready by experience. His heart jumped at the words. I'm not about to dress up like a girl, if that's what you're thinking. Once they reached the mall, Carrie led the way into Cosmetics Plus. She got her nail polish remover and then picked up some foundation. She beckoned John over. Let me test this on your hand. I want to see how it looks with your skin tone. Are you serious? You aren't getting me to wear makeup. John, just cooperate. We'll talk later. Her firm tone made him hold out his hand. As she tested different shades on his skin, John felt a strange mix of nervousness and anticipation. He said quickly, You don't expect me to actually wear this stuff, do you? You seem to like it when I wear it, Carrie replied with a raised eyebrow. The next stop was JCPenney, where Carrie quickly picked up a package containing clothing items, including a skirt, a blouse, and nylons. John noticed the sizes weren't hers. I won't ask you to try these on here. You can exchange them later if they're the wrong size. We still have to stop in the shoe store. In Payless, Carrie checked the size chart. Size 9 men's, looks like a 10 or 10.5 women should work. Here, try these. She handed him a pair of black pumps with a modest heel. These feel kind of snug. They'll be fine. And no excuses about the heels, you'll get used to them.